You'll all be able to see me in that picture. I'm orange, red, and yellow. Okay, so everything around me is blue and black, so we're literally looking for blue and black spots to move. She was exactly right. So, with that said, you always want to try to keep somebody in view. Reason why is because if I leave the picture, that orange, red, and yellow is going to go somewhere else. So, with my skin temperature, even as hot and muggy as it is for us here in Charleston tonight, I'm still going to be the warmest thing out here, as are the rest of you. So, again, we want to try to keep that base temperature in there so it gives us a fluctuation of color. Do I capture something with this every single night? No, not necessarily. Do I need to have it on record all night? I do. Because if you see something, Shadow Man walks by, whatever, you're going to miss it by the time you get this thing turned back on again. So we want to keep it running all night long. Lane, you seem like you're pretty intuitive on this already. So I'm going to hand this over to you.
Okay.
Now, you just covered up the camera with your
whoops.
left hand.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. All right, so you're going to keep it horizontal like that all night long, because here's what happens to the video. I send it over to YouTube so it compresses down, send it back to my website so you guys can watch it on your TV. The red square on there means that it is recording. So if it turns to a circle, tap it again, let me know. I just have to splice some video together so you guys have one video instead of several. Does that make sense? So I tried my best to keep everything in order in case everything gets jumbled up, but you'll be just fine, I promise. I'm sure you can handle a cell phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's get Mr. Jackson busy. Yep. Yeah. Spirit boxes. We're going to use several different kinds of spirit boxes tonight. So spirit boxes allow us to communicate with the dead. So, what is this thing going to do? It's going to sweep through all of the FM radio stations at a very quick rate. It's kind of like the white noise you guys hear on your TV shows, and then Zach Bagans tells you the BS he thinks he heard. We're going to do this in real time. So mine is slowed down on purpose. I want the radio chatter to come through, so you're going to have to help them with this. So if a song lyric, a DJ, a commercial, something comes through and you can make it out, it's a 50-50 shot that I can connect it to the location, the person I'm talking about in history, or something going on with one of us. It's a 50-50 shot. The cool thing about this one is it's going to record the entire session for us. Even on mute, no background noise. So we're not going to hear what Jackson says on there all night. It's all going to be based off of what kind of questions I'm going to be asking. What did you ask? And I'm going to give some impromptu questions as well. So, Mom, you're going to definitely help out with this guy. This is my favorite tool. Why? Because I can put it on mute and go anywhere and listen to it later to see if actually something pops up that's relatable to the location. So, it's already recording. You only have one button to worry about, guys. There's a wheel at the very top. It controls the volume. Certain places we don't want to be too loud, only because there might be horses around, there might be some neighbors. I would definitely give you cues on when to turn spirit boxes up. So that's a pretty big deal. Let's continue with spirit boxes. Sydney, was it?
Yes.
I'm going to give you one that does the exact same thing that his does, only it doesn't record.
Okay.
So, once I get it sweeping, perfect. So I have it set to the slowest sweep rate. You also only have one button to worry about. It's on the side of the ball speaker. You hold it up gently to get some volume out of it, and then you hold it down gently, obviously when I'm telling stories, so that way we can get no volume out of it.
Okay.
So again, yours doesn't record, so we're kind of relying on you. I'm putting you with this one on purpose because his records audio as well. So if the two of you are near each other and you hear something, hopefully his audio will pick it up.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
What do we want to go with next?
I don't know. Yeah, this is going on. Is that? You got it on that side? I don't know if it was that side or this side.
The last spirit box I'm going to use is actually going to give us a word from time to time in the center of the screen and then save them to a list. So with this one, this is last night's tour, they had a ton. They had 97 terms. I only get about 55 to 65 in a 90-minute to 2-hour frame. They had a lot going on. By the way, that was probably the most active tour I've ever had in 2 years' time. So I'm going to clear their list out and start you guys off fresh. The word sand will not be on your list. Here's what I'm going to tell you about this list. That one goes to you.
Okay.
This list is 80% BS. It doesn't mean anything. So I'm just going to be honest with you. It's the other 5 to 20% where I'm kind of, I'll give you the backlinks of why it's relevant to the location of where we are. So with that said, I'm going to give you the full list. There might be something that pops up that's pertinent to one of you and one of you only.
Sure.
I don't know some things about you, obviously, so it'll be up to you guys to be able to tell me, and you'll have all my contact info to get back to me. But if it is relevant to the location, you'll always have an explanation with a backlink. It's not because your tour guide said so, it's because Britannica.org said so. So that way you guys know I'm not just spitting off stuff and saying, oh my god, that's relatable, because it'll probably be based off the stories. Alright, so... Yes, sir. It's for both. It's for you, but Mom's gonna help. I'm assuming
I want you to stand in front of me so I can get
So,
some.
Mom needs to kind of know when to stop, when you guys can ask questions. So we're gonna use EMF meters. EMF meters are they're a necessity. This one is very, very sensitive. It measures all 3 different types of electromagnetic fields. The first one's natural. That's why it's green. It's not doing anything. It comes from the earth. The second one is from electronic devices. But Nick, you just handed us all electronic devices. It's okay. Unless it's something is actually touching it, it's the only way it's going to give off a signal from one of our devices. So it's going to give off a rhythm or a pulse. We don't want the rhythm or pulse either. We want this thing to go erratic. That's when I can't explain it. That's when you stop and start asking questions. It doesn't make any noise. Doesn't make any beeps. It's all about you watching it. Yes, this is how I want to do this. Alright, so, not last but not least, because I have something for you too. You know what's funny, is the book I'm writing right now, my antagonist, his name is KJ. Just putting it out there.
What are the odds?
Slim to none. Alright, this is a millimeter. So, is this mom, dad, kids? Is this the...
Yeah.
Alright, same thing with you guys, mom, dad, kid? Alright, got it. Just so I know the dynamic, and I'm not calling somebody an uncle that's a dad, whatever. So, Dad, you're going to be kind of the multi-person here. So, the reason why I'm putting this in your group is because it does multiple functions. You guys don't have an EMF meter yet. This will give that to you. Your big numbers, 2.5 and higher, I'm going to be excited about.
Okay.
Her first green dot past the one that's already showing, which will be the second green dot, that's 2.5. Hers goes to 25. I've seen this one spike at 116 so far. The bottom number is ambient temperature. Lane finds something. We need to be able to find out where it's coming from and what it is and debunk it first, and then figure out if it's actually paranormal. It's measuring it through the yellow probe. That's your bottom number. Last but not least, it's also a REM pod. So the REM pod, what does that do? It detects motion. So let me get it turned on here. And it's already kind of going wonky on us. It does that over here because of the parking meters. So there's an EMF field being generated around the antenna. In the event something, sorry, I'm waiting for it to calm down. Come on. When it's calm, something gets close to it, it's going to make these kind of noises. Basically, right now, the EMF, the field around it is broken. So it's because we have electromagnetic fields around us, we have all of these poles around us, those kind of things. I am going to shut it off because it does get quite annoying on your audio. So I will talk more about this at our first location. Just keep this back flap open so that we can access the buttons on the back.
Okay.
So that one goes to you. You're the multitasker, kind of gauging everything for everybody. AJ, you're getting my new tool.
I like new things.
New things are fun because I don't know a lot about this guy yet, and I haven't caught anything with it yet. So hopefully you're my first.
It's the second one. It's the first one.
You, sir, are going to be using my full spectrum point of view camera. Now, the files for this thing are giant. We're only going to record in 2 locations. We're going to have to swap batteries about 3/4 of the way through. Really, let me do a quick demo just so you guys know what you're looking at. Make sure everything is off. Alright, so you guys should not be able to see me on that screen, right? It should be almost completely black.
Yeah.
So we're going to turn on some of those.
Oh.
There I am.
Okay.
You cannot see the light with your naked eye. A lot different now, isn't it? So you're going to have a lot of red blingy things going on here. I am looking for feedback from you because this is new. So I really want you to, are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay, so I have this set up for right-handers. You're going to hold it with your left so you can operate with your right. It's the top switch only that turns this one on. The bottom switch brings us night vision. So night vision raises a lot of attention around us. Hi.
Hi, is this the ghost tour?
This is a ghost hunting tour.
Okay.
And I already have all of my folks.
Okay. Okay.
So you're probably looking for bulldog tours?
Yes.
That is going to be down the street to your left.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So, night vision raises a lot of attention. I'll just say that my competitors already don't like me. So we leave night vision off. So we don't like to kind of raise more attention than what we need to. So top switch up, And then this little guy has a red button along the top, and there is a handle there so you can handle it. So I will also let you know when to record. So it's already on, you just turn it off, just so you know where the operation piece is. Other side, there's a little button along the top right here.
This side?
Yep. So go ahead and click it. It gives you another angle of the full spectrum lighting.
Right, and you only record 2 different areas?
2 different areas. The record button is right here. You'll hold it down until the red starts blinking, but you can go ahead and, like I said, play with the lights. Let me know what works best, because if I have to change angles, if I have to move the lights around, like this is literally, I think, the 5th or 6th night that I've been using this camera. I've been getting some really good feedback. I just haven't caught anything with it yet. So you guys will get those 2 videos from those locations back as well. So I think everybody literally has something to do, which is awesome. So I actually don't use tools myself, so that way I can help you guys out. I bounce around with you guys pretty much through the whole thing. So let's kind of get to the point of why we started here. Sorry, I'm trying not to become a ghost as these people fly by. So we started here on purpose because this place is haunted, of course. So this place behind me used to be called Big John's. Big John was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. He used to sit in the back of the bar, tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, 2 guys come in, they're not old enough to drink. John tells the bartender, get them out of here. They leave, pretty angry. They come back the next night and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. That was kind of a stupid place to put the cash register, but Big John sees what's going on. They get into a little bar fight. John's pounding these guys into the floor. All of a sudden, a couple of shots go off and John gets shot in the neck and the bullet ricochets and goes into the wall. So John gets up, he goes back to the bar, and he tells the bartender to get him another beer and to get the guys on the floor an ambulance. Now, John's the one that got shot, first off, and he's the one that got up. That tells you the kind of guy this he was. So, what's haunting the place? Anybody have a guess?
John.
It's John, but how?
Did he die in it?
Nope. The bullet hole is still here, allegedly. Okay, it's got his blood on it. It's in the wall. I say allegedly because they are renovating the place. I have to double check once they're obviously complete. I have seen it. The only time I've ever gotten any EMF is in the front of the bar, obviously where the bullet hole is. People that sit in the front of the bar have little bouts of, little stomach aches, headaches, those kind of things. I bring this up on purpose because I don't know how paranormal activity is going to affect any of you. Now, anybody has any of those kind of symptoms, I kind of need to know immediately. It's a big deal. That's the only scary thing about this entire tour. So, I'll tell you, I probably haven't had an incident in over a year since I started attaching things to my bag, so that way all of your equipment is protected. You can imagine my role, like this is my career, guys. This isn't a side gig. I own the business. So it's all about ghost hunting all the time, and I need to make sure you guys are protected and I'm protected. So let's get our minds off our own health. We had a big earthquake here in 1886. Have you guys taken other Charleston tours?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are probably going to hear some of the weird fun facts all night long. So the big earthquake in 1886, it's a big one for us because it's Charleston. We don't get earthquakes. So apparently this is where the first death occurred. So the mantle you guys see in the center of the building, it also goes around the front. So a piece of that broke off from the earthquake, struck somebody in the back of the head, and apparently killed that guy. We don't know who he is, but you can apparently see him in the middle of the night. I say all of this allegedly because I don't have any proof. It's just a great segue story so you guys aren't thinking about getting sick on my tour. So, I know, everybody gets a good chuckle out of that. Are you guys ready to go ghost hunting? I think Lane's ready. Like, he's like in tune, man. I love it. Let's go. Let's go this way.
What? What did you get?
Just food.
Love it. I don't know how them guys with 20 do it. Yes, sir.
I heard noise down there whenever you walk.
You heard what? Yeah, it's making noise already. That's good. How's our EMF meters? We got anything going on yet? Okay. EMF meters are very weird in here. First off, know that you're standing on a sewer line, so there's nothing here to make it go off. We're not inside the buildings, so again, nothing's going to make these things go off naturally. So let's talk about where we are. Well, first off, let me start with, think of your entire time with me as kind of a ghost hunting 101. So this is going to be your level 1. It's going to be very easy. We're not going to spend a lot of time here. It's just so that you guys get used to your devices, and then we go into a lot deeper history than this location. This is where we keep the horses for your carriage rides. You guys can probably smell them. I'm immune. I'm here 6 nights a week. I can't smell them. So lucky you. But anyway, so this is the building where we kept horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. So whenever I tell you a story, there's going to be key words. We have 3 spirit boxes out here, right? So these are key words for your spirit boxes. Over there, it was 1947 New York Giants, Big, and John. You also don't know what John's jersey numbers were. Those were key words as well. I leave some things a secret, so I'm not giving you subliminal messages. Okay, so with this location, it's obviously going to be delivery, milk, and eggs. So let's talk about spirit boxes. Spirit boxes, this is not TV. So if you guys watch TV shows and this is what you were expecting, yeah, I have the same equipment as them, but I'm actually legit. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not here for ratings. Well, your ratings later.
Got the radio coming through.
That's what we want.
Okay.
We want the radio chatter. So you want to hear commercials, DJs, song lyrics. If disembodied voices come through, which is probably about once every 3 months or so, I'll probably find that kind of stuff in the morning, and it's usually through his. So we're going to ask simple questions of answers we already know. So we can all agree that the barn is red, correct? So if somebody's here, please tell me what color the barn is. You're obviously going to listen for the color red. If the color red doesn't come up, you have to remember your spirit boxes, the noisy ones, are kind of like Bumblebee from Transformers. He's got to find the right key word to tell you that the color is red. So he might say blood, heart, fire truck. These are all things that are specifically red. It's not going to be hat or shoes or somebody's whatever. It's going to be something very specific to the color red. So it's all about putting those clues together. That's really what we're after. That's why I wanted Mom to help me with this. So because it's really hard to listen. These two spirit boxes are the hardest job out here. Just so you guys know, these are not easy to listen to. In the event that you don't hear the color red or something specifically red, hang on, you're going to move on to another question. Something else you already know. What's inside the barn? We know that there's horses in there. Anything related to horses is going to be relevant. But we also know that they were delivery horses that delivered milk and eggs. Charleston is irrelevant only because you're listening to Charleston radio stations. It's probably going to come through. So I do take that kind of stuff out. Common commercials, I take it out. I don't even acknowledge it. But with this particular location, you never know what's going to come up. You could hear 2 numbers out of a phone number and somebody's first name. That could be one of Big John's teammates. It happens all the time. So if Sydney hears number 40 and you guys get Art, or you get Art on your spirit box, Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. See where I get excited? It's not about just the number 40. I need to find out what 40 means. So if it's somebody's birthday, if it was somebody's year that they were born, their jersey number, again, it's all about putting the clues together. Don't get excited about one clue. It's about multiples working together. So spirit boxes, I'm going to show you a little bit more about yours so you can see the full list, because at times I'm going to say, Georgia, where are we at with the list? And you'll just kind of read them off to me. I do want to work with the cameras first and foremost. So again, the 2 of you, I want to keep you behind, but everybody else is pretty much free to explore. And then I'm gonna jump on yours too, because you need to know more about that REM pod. Yeah. So let me get done with the cameras. It only takes just a minute, but all the spirit boxes, go ahead and scatter. If you're gonna get close to the front of the barn, keep your spirit boxes kind of low. Yours is fine because it doesn't make any noise, and she's listening to the ear. So with you guys, you're at a perfect volume for the horses. Cameras. So did you get the point of why we want to keep somebody in view at all times?
Yes.
All right, so go ahead and point your camera just at this fence right here. Watch it bleed out. Pretty much all one color. Watch my hand's going to come into view.
And it turns blue.
Got it. You got perfect. So I don't care how far away they are. I'm going to show you evidence at the next location that's going to prove a point. It's actual evidence of ghosts walking through that camera.
Gotcha.
And there'll be certain places where I'm like, dude, my camera likes to glitch up here. Please pay attention. Really focus up. And it's okay. In here, just kind of get the gist of all of the different types of material, the asphalt, the brick, foliage, wood. Just kind of see how all of those temperatures move together. Again, we're not going to spend a ton of time here. I want to get you guys to a nice, good location. With yours, pretty simple stuff. You're just going to watch that viewfinder, see if anything kind of creepy comes out of anything.
I'm going to walk around with you to get some color. Or Sid, I'm going to walk around with her too. I'm gonna stick with you because I need color. I need a body.
Well, I need you to record what goes on.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I did.
Go back towards the barn.
I'm gonna step out a little bit. Hey, Sid, come here. I'm getting something weird over here. So look at this. Okay, if you can step in, see that thing right there? That blue circle?
Yeah.
And see how it drops a couple of degrees whenever I go to it?
Yeah.
It's weird.
There's nothing there. Is it moving?
It's not moving, but it's like darker than the rest. Ooh. It's getting real dark. It might be nothing. I don't know.
A lot right here.
Is it radio?
See, like I'm getting more clear.
Maybe you're closer to a radio station. Or like a car that's on or something. Keep you in view, but keep looking around. Towards where? I don't think I can get much here because of the light shining down.
What?
The light shining down, I don't think I can get much here.
Well, you get something cooler. Is that just
Oh, that's really weird.
what?
At this door, where it says deliveries, it started flashing a little bit blue and then going out like a darker blue. Right there, behind that trash can. Started seeing darker and blue. And it kept on flashing out.
Okay, so like Alright guys, let's go learn some road history. Let's go this way. Come on, Jackson.
A lot of Joker over there. Not really.
He's the one who said ghosts weren't real. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Well, it still isn't. Okay? Don't lie. There wasn't no ghost. It might be here. It might be how guys different.
I caught something.
Did you?
A little bit. It was at that delivery door, and it was behind a trash can. But around the rim of the trash can, I caught like blotches of dark blue and a little blue.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you tell him?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
What?
Really good tunes in it.
A little bit of curry.
You got something going on?
Yeah. Well, over behind that trash can, beside that door, I got little blotches of dark blue and the light blue. So.
Did they move or were they just kind
No,
of there?
they were there and then they disappeared.
Interesting. I'd have to definitely take a look at it. So I'll definitely take a peek when I'm skimming through your video. Alright, definitely want to keep your spirit boxes down while I kind of go through the history here. First off, a couple of things. That's the only entrance and exit for vehicles, the one we came in at. So people do like to fly in here trying to find parking spaces. So just kind of keep that in mind. Second off, those of you with cameras, people don't like their cars being filmed. So if somebody is in their car or coming to their vehicle, you're just casually holding a device. You're going to be a little bit more hard to, you know, because you're a little crazy. But with you, Lane, you're literally just kind of chilling, holding a cell phone. Keep recording, of course. They don't know what the camera is, but I will tell you, if I was a car thief, that would be my first tool, because now I know how long every car's been here based on its heat signature. Yeah, I know, right?
Put your finger over the camera.
I had to think that one through. So,
You put it over
what's
the
going
camera.
on here? There's a lot. Well, welcome to another parking lot, guys. So if you don't know where to park by the time you're done with me, we have bigger issues that I can't solve. So this is the Pinckney Mansion site. This is probably one of my most active places. However, I will tell you, last night, I didn't get very much from here. It was all at the end. It was crazy last night at the end. But this is a big hotspot for me. This is where Eliza and Charles Pinckney lived. So who the heck were they? They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Charleses in case you lost track. The son and the nephew, they were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Pretty big deal for us, but you guys were on vacation. Nobody wants to talk politics, especially Jackson. So we're not going to even get into that. Oh, you switched up. So let's talk about Eliza. She's way cooler anyway. Let's give you the layout of the land first. Mansion in the front, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden, right where we're standing. From this left tree, all the way over, all the way across. Servant and slave quarters in the back. So, Eliza married Charles at a very young age. And I'm going to tell you that I'm not going to be giving you answers like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the red barn. You're going to get your answers from the spirit boxes, and we actually had the term John come up, so that's excitable. So I'm hoping that his jersey number came up as well. He had 2 of them actually. He started off with 20, moved to 52. So hopefully 20 is too easy because of the year, but 52, if that pops up, I'm going to be excited. But anyway, Eliza married Charles because her father over in England, European, we had that term come up as well, thought he was dying. He wanted to see all his kids one last time. Eliza didn't think he was dying, so she stayed here and got married instead. This is the 1740s, so there's no such thing as citizenship. It just said, hey Dad, stay in put. I don't think you're going to be dying anytime soon. And she was right. He didn't die soon. Well, not too soon. But anyway, he got better. He started sending gifts over from England to this location. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes her blue jeans blue. That's some of us probably wearing it tonight. But indigo is a pretty big deal for Charleston. It was already here, but it came over from the Gullah tribes. The Gullah tribes were basically the slaves that came over from Africa directly. They were farmers. They knew what they were doing. She learned from her slaves how to keep this plant cultivated in our weird temperatures. So again, it gets cold here. She had to learn how to keep it going. So once she was done experimenting with it here, she moved it up to Mount Pleasant, to their farm over there, made it a huge cash crop. Big deal because the rice plantations were going downhill. She kind of swooped right in and became one of the first businesswomen of colonial times in America. How crazy is that? It all started right where you're standing. Now, I'm just giving you the tip of the iceberg of what she's done, but we're going to talk about some weird facts and questions you guys can ask on your spirit boxes, and hopefully we capture. I'm going to show Lane some evidence on his device of things I caught with it as we're kind of mingling around. Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. So, stopped marrying one, married right into another one. They both go by their maiden name they had before they were married. They both start with the letter L. That's all I'm going to give you on the maiden name piece. You can ask anything you want to about Eliza's death. How did you die? How old were you? Where are you buried? What U.S. president was a pallbearer at your funeral? So that's a big one. A lot of people go after that one first. You can obviously what happened to the mansion. It's not here anymore. You can ask when that tragedy happened. Yes, I'll give you the fact that it's a tragedy. I'm going to give a heated warning about the children if you start poking your own questions and going rogue about the kids. There is a tragedy there. If you start poking too hard at that tragedy, all activity will stop. Not just here, but pretty much for the rest of the night. I've seen it dozens of times because people want to get too curious about those kids. Ask names, ask how many boys, how many girls, how many kids total. Leave it alone. I'm telling you, you'll ruin your own tour for everybody else. So I know it's a harsh warning, but it's true. I've seen it. I don't know how many times. But I think that's enough to kind of get you guys started. If you guys go rogue with your questions, I'll be kind of keeping up with all of you. I'm going to check you guys in on the websites that you guys bought your tickets from, and then I'm going to show Lane some evidence, and then I'll start following up with everybody. We definitely want to get some recordings here. Just kind of be mindful of the vehicle that's behind you, whoever that is still in their car. But yeah, play with the lights, show me what it's doing on either end. It's pretty open sky tonight. Last night it was a little cloudy, so it was a different lighting situation. So we'll kind of see what happens. Definitely ask some questions, have some fun in here. Just be mindful of your camera, because like right now somebody's walking to their car. All right, give me 5 minutes and I'll start following up with all of you. We are going to spend about 10 minutes here total based on the amount of activity.
Following me or something.
I follow Sid because he said about the recording hers in
Right.
mine.
If you look like you're recording Sid, then it's not so bad. You know? So.
You know, trust me, if somebody says something, I'm going to step in. Like, it's not, it's only happened once, so I always do that. And that was like 2 years ago, something got me about it. All right, Lane, let me bring this up.
I know it. A rail for something really tall.
What was that?
Kid's great.
All the really cool evidence goes to one folder. I'll show you what I caught last night.
We use lasers too, and I have a whole group of 10. this showed up in the lasers last night.
That.
All of that.
Whoa.
I normally get little specks, maybe a little swoop, something just touching it. All of this came through. And I lightened the picture so I can kind of make it out a little bit better.
Wow.
But yeah, it was that big. I even had my wife look at it. Like, it's pretty cool stuff. 100%. Again, very active last night. So the video I want to show you actually took place up in that top right-hand corner. This is obviously the wall right here.
Yeah.
See the two living people walking past the wall? Let's find the dead people.
Okay.
Facebook on this top here. Yes, I know it's old people Instagram. Like, that's what I got. So you're going to see two dead people walking past the wall going the opposite direction, starting right about there.
Oh, I see them.
You see how, like, they moved? So what I do with that video, I get a lot of people on this tour. So firemen, mechanics, they all use that on their day job. So I've had conferences with them, like, can you analyze this for me? It's legit. Like, I'll play it again just so you can kind of see where the...
Yeah, they were right behind the...
I'll even pause it right on the screen if I can catch them.
They're moving pretty fast. Yeah, right there.
I mean, it's two heads for sure, walking side by side, and this guy's always in view. You see his skin? They should have been the same color like the first two people I showed you.
Yeah.
So when you told me that there were two black spots over there and they didn't move, but they kind of faded away, that means that you just moved the camera.
Oh, okay.
It's a 99% chance that that's what happened. I didn't want to debunk you in front of the whole group.
Gotcha.
But the whole thing about that is like, I'll still take a look at it just in case.
Yeah.
When I watch this video, I'm just skimming it. I want to see what's moving around. I'm watching it in like 5 times speed. So that way, you know, I can just get a gist of what actually happened.
Yeah.
But with you guys, it's on YouTube. Pop it up on the TV, man.
Yeah.
Like, just see what happened. You might catch something that I missed. So,
Her name is Our Banana.
Alabama.
What are you getting? Oh, came on and said little baby. You getting it all over here, or what?
That's what
Is there
I've been,
more?
Yeah, that's what I get more of right
So
here.
I wonder if this was like the nursery, or like if this was like where something happened. Dad's getting tons of feed, like in the place he's standing over there. That's why he's standing there. Where is
Let me see.
he? Over there.
Let me see if I
There,
can...
this goes nuts.
Let me see if I can get something out of it. See
Okay.
something? Dad, stay there.
With a regular digital camera, I want to see it move. I don't want to pick it up.
I'm just gonna see if he sees some things around here.
Well, it's when I'm pointed this way.
Oh, it tends to be only when you're pointing in a certain
If I turn around toward you lane, nothing. But if I'm
Is it,
pointed this way,
is it about that like electrical pole?
I don't know.
get more of them.
Well, I need to stand
Why don't
close
you-
because I need color.
Why don't you
And
swing
that's
Okay.
me.
side?
Like
Why don't you go like shoot this way?
Alright.
walk around them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, shoot perpendicular to where I'm.
Rarely.
Well, I need to stand still for a couple times.
How are we doing on yours?
Well, if he
I'm
stands right
walking
there.
around. If I stand right here, it's very active. It'll go from that, when it does that, it'll go to 22 and back. But if I point, if I just say do a 180, yeah, I don't know. But
Should we try the REM pod?
no, I'll just wait. What do you do?
Pull anything up, right on. Kind of see what you get out of it.
That's the one near the edge, right?
You got it. You gotta click it all the way in.
Oops.
That thing's bright.
way.
Yep, hold it as still as possible. So just being a little. I'm gonna move around a little bit just to prove that
Right.
it's not me making it go off. It's a little breezy over here. The breeze isn't gonna make it go off. So if you actually get something and you're this still, it's obviously not anything natural.
Okay.
Is that fair?
So there wouldn't be anything like under me.
No, that's where the numbers are gonna come from.
Okay. All right. That's still bouncing 14 to 0, 12, 20,
You're all over the place.
Mhm.
What's been the highest number you've seen so far?
22.
Okay. Last time we had up to a 70
Okay.
in this location. So,
In this location?
yeah. Just at the Pinckney Mansion side.
Okay.
In here. Where are we at with your word list?
We got all kinds. So, pray, rarely, ambassador, palace, walk, stand, welcome, indicator, capability, right, rail, Thomas, stood, shown, flame.
You have a lot that's going on here. So let me first clue you in on what's going on around you.
Okay.
So
Well, listen to this.
Sydney asked, how old were you when you moved to Charleston? Jackson heard the number 10. I have to verify it, but I want to say
That's
it's gonna,
probably,
yeah, right around that same age. Let me show you which words actually make sense here and tell
Okay.
you. So we're going to start with Thomas.
Okay.
Thomas was her son.
Okay.
He went into battle, the Battle of Camden. So if anything pops up with leg, knee, ankle, anything related to the leg in general, that's Thomas coming through again.
Okay.
So flame, the mansion caught fire right here in 1861.
Okay.
Right. Her daughter, Harriet, lived in Horry County, which is Myrtle Beach, because she married in Horry. That was her new last name. They had to write a lot of letters back and forth because it wasn't a car trip. This was in colonial times.
Right.
The letter book has been published.
Oh,
So I get a
cool.
lot of
Okay.
things around, right, paper, ink,
Right.
anything related to that. Like, I'm excited about your list. So far, I have at least 5 solid terms wrapped around the 2 locations that we've been to so far. So I'm going to say I'm more excited about Thomas, most of all.
Yeah, that came through when you were talking. I mean, that was everybody.
Was it about the kids?
Yeah, when you were saying it, when you were, I think, saying, you know, ask questions about the kids, ask that kind of deal. Thomas
Wait,
went through.
I think I heard Jackson say, what's one of your kids' name?
Did you ask what Eliza's kids' names were?
But
Hey.
I didn't know how many kids there
How many?
were. 24.
No.
Oh, 24.
That's a lot of babies.
No, I heard.
So ask if you can get which battle Thomas led,
Okay.
it'll solidify it. It's an odd name.
Okay.
And I've seen it on your spirit box in the past along with Thomas's name.
Okay.
So let's see if you can actually capture that.
Okay.
You're doing great stuff.
I know how much kids there are. I'm doing 7 or not.
It's all right
Try
here.
not to move as much.
Okay.
I think you're getting a lot of activity because the fire started over here.
Well, this is where all my activity is. What started the fire?
Mom, ask what started the fire.
What started the fire?
Do I have to? Do you have to ask?
Anyone can ask, and it may show up on mine.
What? I asked her.
Again, we don't want to ruin much activity.
The fire was brought over there.
Exactly.
Anything about, like, I keep getting, I got 5 years.
What day was it for?
Still seems to want to go over here. I get
Okay.
bigger readings. There.
My arm's getting tired.
Let's move up a little.
Okay. Trying to hold it as steady as I can. Okay.
I can tell, like, all of that is from you moving.
That is all from me moving.
Right. You turning around, like, I could see it kind of like,
Yeah.
you made it a little bit more of a,
It's still the biggest thing I get from
Spacing
pointing
that
this
way.
direction, roughly in this area.
because I'll use this thing as communication, too. If somebody's here, Eliza or Charles, just
Yeah.
get close to the black
Oh,
box
yeah,
with the metal
ask
rod.
yes or no questions.
Yes or no?
With this one, you can, like, get close to it, ask yes or no questions, ask a specific color. We're talking about indigo, which is a blue dye.
Yeah.
Tell her to make it go to blue and stay there.
What were you saying about this rod? What did you say?
So I never use terms that they're not going to understand.
Okay. Yeah.
Black box with a metal stick.
Gotcha.
They don't know what a millimeter
They
device
don't know.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I got you.
I'll even say certain colors of the lights because every device here has a certain color light on it. He's got a blue light, you got red, so forth and so on.
Okay. So you can use this to do.
And if you want to test it further,
Yeah.
take it to the wall if you're worried about your own movement.
Okay. And use the. Just,
Yeah, that's all from you moving right there. Oh, whoops. I'm gonna stay near you, or you.
Does she have two husbands? There's two Elizas. I just got two husbands.
Okay, I'm really confused about something.
Yeah.
Well, there's like a black. It might be just me moving. Never mind.
So I'm going to give him a few minutes to see if anything pops up out of it. So
Okay.
if he does get anything, great. If not, I still want to get you guys the answers so that way we can actually move on.
Okay.
You have a lot going on. Have you had anything else come up?
Yeah. Courage, readily, secret.
Yeah, nothing. Courage is too big.
Yeah, no, it's but I mean, I'm sure I was talking about Thomas, but I'm
Yep.
sure courage. Yeah,
I mean, he led this battle.
yeah, he had to have courage. Was she only married once?
She was, yes.
I got two, and I thought it said husbands afterwards, but I wasn't sure.
Nope, only one.
Cage. That's what I was asking a while ago. Where this, like, what was here? Where were you? Like, okay, so do the lines getting bigger?
It's all part of the game.
Okay.
So the game you and I are playing is where's the word coming from? It goes to the app.
Okay.
Right now, everything is like right around our 75-25. I know I said 80-20 before, but you're getting a lot more than what I normally get that's actually relevant, which is good. All right.
Captain, the key finished.
well, I got it to turn. I did what you said about the turning blue.
Yeah.
It did.
How long?
Yeah, how long was it there?
Oh. So I said thank you.
What'd you do?
So he asked
Really?
me
Awesome.
indigo and said, "Can you turn
You
like
think
his
I can
turns blue
replicate
whenever
it?
it gets
I
really
don't know.
big?"
Where
And so
would that be?
he asked
Would
it
it
to
be
turn
recorded?
blue,
It doesn't.
and
it does record, but it
did.
gives you like.
And then
I got it.
I don't
he
give
said thank
refs.
you, and it stopped.
All right, let me gather them up, and we'll kind of talk about everything. we've
Okay.
collected.
It did it.
But Jonas.
Jonas Brothers.
Jonas.
That's
Now I did move when you said that
Yeah, I looked
EMF
over
thing.
and you weren't
I
there.
Well, I slid 7 feet, 6 feet down that direction to get away from that.
nice. Good stuff. Why'd Mom go up that way?
What's that?
Why'd she go up
I
that way?
think she's over there talking. You may get her. There you go.
Pennies
She has a lot of terms that are definitely relevant to this location. So let's go ahead and turn those spirit boxes down and just come over and we'll kind of get into what she's found so far. This will help clarify a lot of what we just did, especially with the millimeter.
Hey, actually, I did, the first time I did it, I used Eliza.
Okay.
Nothing. I used Charles.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So
We did a little test with the millimeter. Let's start there because that just happened. So there's different colors based on the REM pod as something gets closer. It starts off with green and moves all the way up to red. I said, if you really want to play with this, put it on a steady surface and ask whoever's here to make it turn a specific color and stay there. He picked blue, it went to blue when he addressed Charles and not Eliza. So again, just depending on, God, that 10 might make sense there too. I want to say the sun was born on October 10th, which is 10/10. Interesting. So you guys got to give me a lot of homework. So let's kind of go over some of the terms that we found in there. Bring up your list for me so I can take a look. So we got the words. We got the word right, which is definitely something that goes on here because Eliza's daughter, her only daughter, moved to the Myrtle Beach area because she married in Horry. That's Horry County. That kind of gives you a gist of how these prominent names were. They wrote letters back and forth. All of those letters were published in a handbook. So I get a lot of that here. We got the name Thomas. That is one of the sons, and apparently that came up when I started giving you the warning about don't poke the bear too much about the tragedy of the sons. This is not that tragedy. Sydney did hear little baby. So again, there is a tragedy with the little baby. I'll get into that in a minute. And the word flame. The mansion did burn down in the Great Fire of 1861. So 1860, every tour guide's going to tell you about some kind of great fire of whatever year it happened. This one went from peninsula coast to peninsula coast. The mansion just happened to be in the way. So the only pictures we have of the mansion are after the fire. So let me get you the other answers based on the questions that I gave you. What are you guys most curious about?
How did the fire start?
It was, honestly, there's no starting point other than it just started and went. Yeah, great fires, no explanation for them. What do you got?
What was the little girl's name?
Super red.
I see that. Well, again, part of the aesthetics.
What was the little girl's name?
Harriet. So the other kids will start there, I guess. So he goes Charles, Thomas, and Harriet, but then there was little baby George. So George died, whether within days or weeks of him being born. So he wasn't very old. The baby is also lost. There's no headstone, there's no grave. The death certificate has the same month and year as birth and death. So take that for what you will. George was named after Eliza's father. Eliza's maiden name was Lucas, which makes her father George Lucas. That's
Star Wars.
movie buff, sorry. So with that said, there's a lot that goes on. So Lucas was one of the names hopefully I was hoping to come through. The first wife, her maiden name was Lamb. So Lamb and Lucas were the two names there. Eliza's death, let's get into that. She was 70 years old when she died in 1793. She died in Philadelphia, which is also where she's buried. If that doesn't answer the question of why I don't take you to cemeteries, people don't hang out where they're buried. They go to places they love. Okay, so again, she's up there. She's giving us clues, and Charles is obviously here too, giving us some clues to what's going on here. Any guesses to the president, who was the pallbearer at her funeral? Now that you know what year she died, 1793.
Adams?
George Washington. So with that, I'll get terms George Washington, I'll get wood, apple, Martha, cherry. All of these terms make sense because remember, now there's three Georges. Washington, Eliza's father,
Where'd you
and
say
her son.
What's from?
She
Where was
is
she married?
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Interesting. Yeah, Philadelphia. Let's see, what else? Talked about the kids, fire, maiden names, her death. I think that about covers it. Did you guys ask any other rogue questions that I need to know about?
I asked how far apart the children were in age.
That's right, and you got 5 years.
Yeah, I did get 5 years. And then I also asked how old she was when she moved here.
Oh yeah, so we all know that because I spread that news around. Eliza's age when she got married, by the way, was 22. Charles was 45. So again, these are little things that I get all the time. From here, We are going to go up to Lodge Alley. It's about
We never heard the name of the Thomas's. We were
Oh,
looking for
the
the
battle.
name of the battle.
Battle of Camden. So Thomas led a battle of Camden, which is just south of here near Beaufort. Now with that battle, his leg got shattered. So again, anything related to his leg, knee, ankle, anything related to that, I'm definitely going to be looking into if it
Rot.
pops up. Say?
Rot.
Yeah, part of the
Gangrene.
80%. Could have been. But I think he just used the cane. I don't think he lost the leg. I think they had to try to do some reconstruction. Oh, I didn't tell you how Eliza died. Eliza died from breast cancer. I want you guys to think about that for a minute. 1793, there's no such thing as cancer. I'm going off for medical records. 9 out of 10 credible websites will tell you it was breast cancer. So take that for what it's worth. Cancer comes up here a lot too. From Lodge Alley, we're going to kind of check it out. We're going to listen along the way on your spirit boxes. You're going to be listening for names. I'm not going to tell you the gender or what the names are or what they even mean. Reason I'll tell you once we get there. Once we do get there, we're definitely going to turn our spirit boxes down because it is a quiet area. We're not going to be there long, but you guys are on vacation. You need to see some Charleston cobblestones. So I'm going to take you up this crazy alley, tell you what's going on there, and then we're going to go hear some crazy pirate stories and go look for a pirate. How do you feel about that? Go look for a pirate. Yeah. I know, you're getting tired. It's getting late.
I am ready.
I know, right?
Thirsty. Mom
needs to shop all
day too.
If he's thirsty, there is a candy shop at the corner. You guys need to stop. We're
Yeah,
going to pass it by.
I'll stop.
Okay.
Catch up.
No, we'll wait. We'll wait. All right, let's take a hike, guys. Your EMF meters will go off on East Bay Street because of the parking meters.
I got some
Pretty much
taxi
ignore them.
I got a name.
Oh, crap. Oh, no. Rode my finger again. Dad, on the thermometer, Mom's head is hot.
What? Okay.
Back in the day.
Yeah, not today.
Who? But it picks up Mom's head, but it doesn't pick up her hair that she's put in a...
So it just looks like
So it looks like a
floating head.
mohawk. Her hair...
You guys want to check the door real quick? You're more than welcome to. I think they
There's
just
people in there, but I don't know.
make her work.
No, ice cream.
Someone's coming out.
And they're like
I don't know. They may be locking up behind.
ice cream. Oh.
Yep.
Can I grab a water real fast, please? Thank you. Sweet tea. Just put them in the ice.
See that? It's probably from all the parking meters around. How old are you guys? 7.
No, sitting her down. What?
You're at 5.
5. I have 5.
Wait, hold on. How many years were you guys
Step up.
married?
Huh?
How many years were you guys married?
tall, do something.
Daddy?
Take the food.
22.
I thought I heard 24. I thought I heard you say 24.
I just heard 5
Well,
again.
then why would we be on the ghost
Because
meter?
you said
We're
it
not
might
here.
do something personal.
Oh.
Like, from you. Find me.
How old are you?
We're actually going to go
Oh, go this way.
What's this? Man, I really got pee.
You need to?
No, it's alright. I'm good.
This is the lights. Is it very top? Okay. Very top. What's up and down? It's sounding it has something to stop it. Shadows.
I just found like a Russian looking for me ass. Get some walking down the street with
It's really quiet out here tonight. I was surprised when I came down to meet y'all. I'm like,
Is there what? I mean, I've kind of noticed. We went to Savannah yesterday.
yeah.
but everything, like parking garages, everything was full. And then we come back at the end, like we're kind of surprised. Like, it's like maybe it's Wednesday, you know, but
Yeah.
it seems like less. I think maybe everything left, or like it's a transition to coming into the 4th of July weekend, or something like that.
I mean, I'm almost fully booked. So like, people are coming in. I know
Yeah.
that much, but it's a matter of like I know holiday events. I'm swamped.
Right.
You know, I'm actually stopped taking phone calls just because.
Too much. Well, I know I tried to make reservations for different things in advance, and they were pretty. Most things were pretty full this week, so I really expected it to be more traffic. Then like I said, today didn't seem like it was so bad everywhere.
I was surprised when I got down there. I mean, I live obviously pretty far from this, so you know, everything each thing is amazing. I get off the freeway. What is it on point?
Right. And we're staying in North
West Ashland.
West Ashland. No, Ashland Park. On Ashland Park.
Oh, in North Charleston.
And literally.
Facing the road here, if you keep going, you take Ashley Pass, they go to Dorchester, which is the next big intersection. You go left, you go down, and you go a mile. I live off of Dorchester.
Okay.
So I'm right here.
You're Savannah Bananas.
Who wrote the Savannah? There's a line on there. As soon as possible, it'll get us all the way down.
With that really summers, but they have this guy that runs the Savannah Bananas has kind of turned it into this massive show. And I mean, it is non-stop. There's something going on constantly. Instead of having like your diamond dolls that would be cheerleaders, you've got the man-nanas, which are these like 60-year-old men with big fat bellies and a tank top, and they sing the dance. The first base coach, he does like backflips and dances the whole time, and it's just a lot of.
That's funny.
I mean, it's a crazy. It's baseball, but it's not baseball. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Almost like watching
And
Globetrotters.
it's become so big on TikTok that
Okay.
my son's baseball player, and he found it, and he was like, "We gotta go see him." And sure enough, it was a show.
Whose idea was this?
This is too good.
Okay.
Well, actually, my husband and I did one in New Orleans with the voodoo. You know, a lot of voodoo there.
We're going there in January.
Back. Oh, it's been a long time ago. About 2 years ago. So when we were looking through of things to do, he was like, "Yes, that's what we're doing now."
This particular store is way different than any as I'm still with you guys, I'm getting a phone call.
Right. Well, that's what I thought for him when we were there.
Yeah, I think that's why I think that's usually the surprise. It's not realize you're getting everything back to me. So it's not
Just seeing it was more than something. You know, just
I don't want to tell you all the lies and lies.
Right.
I want her to tell you.
right.
Stop up here. I'm going to take a left side. Eric, did you get any other names?
I don't think I got any more names.
Okay.
Besides Stella, right when we left.
Sydney, what about you? Any names? Okay. KJ, how many? Did you get any names?
John and maybe Jennifer or Jen or something like that maybe.
Okay. So we're going to let these folks pass through with their dogs. So we're going to pass through.
Hello.
Alright, down. Here's the quiet area. So this is a hotel right next to you guys and a restaurant behind me. So this is Lodge Alley. When we cross that last crosswalk coming down East Bay Street, that's where the original Charlestown Wall used to be. It went talk about that again later. But that kind of proves to you, like right now, we're in the middle of the original Charleston. So this is one of the first streets we ever had here. This is Lodge Alley. We call it Lodge Alley because we had a Masonic Lodge here. So this is Lodge Alley Inn, obviously, because it sits right on Lodge Alley. We do get the term Mason here. The reason I asked you for names is because people used to live here after the Masonic Lodge was moved. So I have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived here. The two names I commonly get, Benjamin and John. They get John. So hopefully Benjamin shows up too. Normally they go together. Why do they go together? Because they both lived here in 1801. Sounds like, oh, well, big deal. But they're 2 out of the 5 people that lived here in 1801. Like, that's pretty good odds that I hear those 2 names together constantly. So Benjamin's going to show up somewhere. I can almost guarantee it. Or we'll get John's last name. Or we'll get John's last name, which was Johnson. So John Johnson. So Benjamin, can't remember his last name because it doesn't show up. Benjamin and John, big things. And we should also keep in mind, like, people that lived here, they were lower class. These were shotgun houses. This is definitely lower class. They get the smell of low tide coming over, you know, just little tiny places. Like, I'm standing on somebody's stoop back here. Like, that's how close they were to their neighbor. So what happens from here is we're going to actually cut through the rest of this alley, and we're going to be in a neighborhood. So it's definitely no spirit box zone until we get to our next stop. But that's kind of be your legends and lore piece. So Sydney's doing a great thing. She's just listening to it really low on her ear. You can do that. We just don't want to interrupt any of the residences here. I am in jurisdiction, but technically we're just cutting through anyway. We're a loud and noisy group with all of the stuff we have going on. But I am excited about John, so that's pretty good stuff. We'll wait to see if Benjamin shows up too to solidify it. Again, 2 clues at minimum. So I'm going to be checking in with Georgia once we get to our next location to see which, get the little letter, to see which stories I'm going to need to tell. Because the corner we're going to literally has like 15 stories. So I kind of need a clue in on where am I going with which story. So we'll kind of see what's going on up there, and then we're going to go look at that female pirate. She's pretty badass. So let's go up this way. You guys are getting tired, because I can tell you because you're getting quiet. Okay, kids, I know the drill.
You can hold it down or something.
Well, then I don't get anything.
No, you still get it. You just... Switch hands?
Yeah.
Switch hands?
I love how you're just spitting them off. So how old are you 2 guys?
I'm
14.
almost 17.
Okay.
14.
14. So my kids are 21, 15.
Wow, you don't want to go to that time.
The baseball hat, it takes off like 15 years. So.
No, I would have...
And I work at night, which means I stay out of the sun. So.
Well, first off, here, it's really...
My beard comes in.
Yeah, that's right.
I actually put silver color in my hair, like it's a daily thing. So if I'm going to do my hair, that's going to be silver.
Oh, the murderer. And you make fun of me and you're gonna find a murder victim?
There you go.
Ex-wife. Down here, new wife, new life. Kind of thing. And then this business is walking through this. To do this. Yeah, do I take the same path? I'm going to twist it up here in a few months. You know, to do some different locations. But I was managing on 300 people. degrees and finish up my master's degree. And a writer. I write books. But let's face it, the books aren't selling. I gotta eat. So, is that? Yeah.
Great.
Everything I do is wrapped around the current. Even my books are turned.
Right.
So, yeah.
You enjoy what you do versus.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Compared
Oh,
to
I
what
can
I used
see
to
it.
do. And let's face it, I mean, I work like 4 hours a day.
Right.
Take you guys out for 2 hours.
Oh, take it. Good thing.
Good time with my daughters. Good time with the dogs. So working for the day.
Nobody can. Daycare.
Well, every time my youngest, when she comes down, she's on call.
Yeah.
She's the first. So, I need your birthday gift back. Actually, push that one back so you guys can chill for a minute. I'm sure Jackson's getting tired. Jackson, how you holding up, buddy? You getting tired? Yeah. Okay. Alright, so we're going to be here in just a few minutes and we're going to go look at that pirate. So, you guys can have a seat, chill for a minute. Again, you paid me to work, I'm giving you a break. So, that's how this goes. You doing okay? You doing alright?
I like that one.
So, did you guys notice the gorgeous alley that we passed up?
No, it's
The
not.
one behind
It's
us?
your phone.
So technically,
Or your
we're supposed to go
phone.
down there. Don't ask me how I know that. The new
It's not
neighbors don't
working.
really care for me.
My- the camera's over here.
You
My
guys
camera's over
notice that the wall behind you, KJ, you're kind of out of range to see it, but there is a doorway over in that wall over there. That alley is called Philadelphia Alley. So it's easy to remember because that's where Eliza's buried. We're going to have another tour coming through, so I'm just going to step to the side once they get open. But the doorway is an interesting piece of that because that used to be called Jeweler's Alley. The loser of the jewels would be carried through that gate and then over to his grave over at St. Philip's. So,
And I write poetry, I write short stories.
It's my finger.
This.
The purple thing?
This little arrow thing. Is it where you're
Oh, it
aiming?
reads the temperature. Yeah.
Oh, it tells you the temperature, degrees. Okay. Well, that's cool.
back to where we are. We all tell the same story of the same duel. You got the word letter, correct?
Had letter for a while.
Still not.
Anthony?
Still not really. No. Judge is interesting. That goes to the next story with the pirate. When did you get Judge? How far back?
Oh, it's a while back. But when you and I were walking and talking, I think,
Okay.
before we even got to the alley.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So let's tell the story of the duel, and then we'll go learn about some pirates. Because the duel is very fun, and I get a lot of evidence while I'm telling the story, which makes it even more fun. Right? Are we still recording on that thing? Yeah. You can probably shut it off a little bit. Save some battery. I'll get you a new battery once we get over to the new location. So, the duel. Doctor moved down here from Rhode Island. His name was Joseph Brown Ladd. I'll give you all of these keyword terms. Just kind of pay attention to what they are in case we hear anything in your spirit boxes. So Joseph Brown Ladd moved down here because his fiancée Amanda just inherited a bunch of money. So her attorney thought that the doctor was just after her money. So he told her to send the doctor away. He moves to Charleston. As he's coming into town, the coachman that brings him in sets him up to be robbed and killed. Not a very good start to while he's here, but somebody walking by sees what's happening. His name was Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials as where the doctor came from, Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. RI is really relative to us because it shows up here often. He takes him over to 59 Church Street. We're on Church Street, just to give you a gist. So he basically gives him a place to stay. It's not his place, but he tells him where to go. The two become friends, but the doctor's making more money. His practice starts to take off. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor because Amanda's going to be moving down soon, and he's got a lot of cash in his pocket. He's doing pretty well. That gives him a different part of the hierarchy of Charleston at the time. So when him and Ralph go see plays together, they're not in the same seats. Ralph doesn't have as good a seats as the doctor. So they have to talk about these plays on the way home. They go see William III one night. They start arguing because the doctor loved the new actress that was here in town. Ralph did not. During the middle of their argument, Ralph starts insulting his fiancée Amanda back home. Obviously it gets pretty heated. They go their separate ways. Ralph is from here. He calls his friends at the newspaper, not really, it's the 1800s, but calls them up and says, I want to put an ad in the paper. tell the city what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. He charges too much, he's not from here, yada yada yada. The doctor rebuttals with, let's go to Doler's Alley, let's settle this. So they come down, they take the 20 paces, they turn, the doctor points his gun in the air, he shoots. He did not want to kill his friend. Ralph still has his one bullet, he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor, so he didn't die. Didn't go through the death gate, instead his friends carry him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later. That was at Pinckney Mansion site. You gave me another number earlier. But again, you guys can see how my brain triggers all the stuff you guys see in here. But at any rate, he probably died from bleeding out. I mean, obviously it's the 1800s, he's a doctor. It's the only way he knows how to heal himself from a gun wound in the kneecap. So, they say as you walk through the alley, you can hear the whistles from the doctor. When I used to take my groups down there, it was all quiet. You're going to use my audio piece to see if you can actually hear those whistles. So, we get a lot of hecklers here, as I'm sure you can imagine.
That's a birdie.
Wow. That was like on cue.
Yeah,
Good job,
it's a
bird.
bird.
But this is a very popular area. I don't see any other terms that are relative here, but I do want to point out one building, if you guys can see it. Off in the distance, there's a burning gas lamp. Do you guys see that orange flickering light back there? That's the pirate house. This is just to get your mindset going on pirates. That's where Blackbeard's men would come off their ships. And they would have a place to stay, meet a few girls, and have a place to sleep. So, the cool thing about that building is that they actually dug a tunnel from the pirate house 1 block away to Dock Street Theater. What's so significant about Dock Street Theater? It was a playhouse. It was a whorehouse. Sorry, trying to keep it PG. But they would go over there to work in between bartering with all of the locals because pirates tie really good knots. They would work backstage at the playhouse that was inside the building. So now that your mindset is on pirates, let's go see what we can find across the street. I'll get another recording going once I'm done with the story. Right now, you probably, because it stops every 9 1/4 minutes. So we probably have about 4 videos to splice together. So this should be interesting. You're still recording, right? All right, good deal. Have you heard anything while I've been telling this story?
I heard story, and then that was it.
Got some new words.
What do you got?
Astronomer,
No.
spray, disc, like,
This is all very vague.
disturb.
Yeah, too vague. All right, guys, let's go across the street.
Born December 11th, 1858. Died June 2nd, 1929. Died of heart attack. Touching by cold violation.
Somebody's getting something. I don't see.
I'm going to take a break from the bag. It's a lot lighter now.
I might do that too.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good, this is a good 5-minute story before we start investigating.
Can do that.
Alright guys, last story, last investigation. Welcome to your level 3. This is a place where you'll be able to ask whatever you want to based on the story that I'm about to give you. There's a lot of holes in this story. I don't know how many books I've read on this woman, but again, it's all over the map. What I'm about to tell you are all of the common things from those books and articles that I've read about this particular pirate. So, first thing we have to do is we have to learn about the building and why it's relevant, why we're actually here. The building with the crosses on it. First off, those aren't crosses. Those are earthquake bolts. Remember the earthquake I told you guys about? Earthquake bolts have a turnbuckle. Basically, you twist the bolts, straightens the building back up if another earthquake comes by. But they don't work. Those are the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. They're very crude. Once you guys get close to it, you'll kind of see how they look. The construction of this building is very interesting only because of where it's located. I told you guys about the Charlestown Wall. That's Cumberland Street. So I'm kind of trying to brief through the history, not to bore Jackson, just so you guys know, to get to the cool piratey stuff. So Cumberland Street is where the wall was. It literally went half a block past the powder magazine, and it started going south towards the battery. It's literally locked into the corner. The reason for that is because if it gets attacked from cannon, it's 3 blocks away. Those walls are 32 inches thick. It's going to be hard to get through. Let's say that it does. There is sand in the roof of that building that if it blows up from gunpowder, the sand goes up and then it falls to put out the fire. Great theory, but that don't work either. We had another powder magazine closer to the battery. Sand was unable to put out the fire. So this building served in 7 different wars. All kinds of really cool, interesting stuff if you're a history buff, but this is the oldest government building on the East Coast. It's not the oldest building in Charleston, just government building. Now, the time period that this building was being built, 1703 to 1713, that's where the story begins. In the middle of that, 1708, follow me, there's a lot of twists. Young lady moves here. Her name is Ann Cormack. She moves here with her dad, his mistress, who happens to be her mom. They're trying to get away from his wife. You guys with me on that one? I know, a lot of weird twists. I always say that one slow. So the three of them move here. Young Ann kind of sees this building being built. Dad's becoming a farmer over in the Georgetown area. Sends Ann down here to do the business for the farming. She sees it being finished. It's now 1714, 1715. Pirates are coming through town, and she's a teenager. She is obviously enthralled with these pirates coming through town. She falls in love. This guy's name is James Bonney. James Bonney is a filthy pirate, and Dad does not approve. So what do? They run away to Jamaica. They get married. Ann Cormack becomes Ann Bonney, your most famous female pirate of the Golden Age. So, while they're down there, she realizes that James Bonney is basically a coward. He's a privateer for the British. He's a spy. So she doesn't want him anymore. She falls in love again. We're on guy number 2. This guy's name was John Rackham, aka Calico Jack. Much cooler name, much cooler ship. The guy dresses pretty well. Not to mention he's more like Captain Jack Sparrow than James Bonney. So she wants to be part of the crew. Can't have female on the crew because females curse pirate ships. So he says, you can be on the crew if you dress like a guy. She's okay with this cross-dressing piece because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy back home in Ireland to keep her away from his wife. So she's like, whatever I gotta do. She's allowed to be a female in his quarters though. Of course, being a female in his quarters, yes sir.
Is this the last thing?
It is. I know. Some of these stories are long. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm trying. So, being a female in his quarters, she eventually gets pregnant. Again, trying to keep it PG. It's kind of a rough one. So, what's he do? Can't have a pregnant guy on the ship. He sends her to Cuba. Go have the baby, come back, we'll figure it out when you get back. So she does. She goes to Cuba, has the baby, returns with no baby. We have no idea what happens to that child. She's also dressed like a female. She doesn't care anymore about hiding her gender. This makes Jack pretty mad. He also just captured another pirate crew that's down below deck. She goes down there to go flirt with one of these guys to make Jack even more jealous. This is guy number 3, in case you're losing track. So she goes down there and the guy she's flirting with reveals his gender to be a female dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack just captured. So now we have 2 females doing the exact same thing. She convinces this young lady, her name was Mary Read, to become part of the crew. We have 2 females on the same ship. The British find out where one of the final ships are for, the piracy age. They move in. It's literally Ann Bonney and Mary Read fighting off the entire British fleet because all the other pirates are too drunk down below deck to come up and fight. Obviously the ship gets captured. Now, the last words that she said to Calico Jack were, you should have stood up like a man instead of going down like a dog, where dog shows up here quite often. Now, the judge wants to see the 2 men that fought back by themselves. All the other pirates are already dead because they were already hung. They had their trial. It's now Ann Bonney and Mary Read's turn. They go in front of the judge. His name was Nicholas Laws. That's why the word judge kind of caught my attention. They reveal their gender. He says, I don't care that you're female. You're still pirates in my eyes. We're going to hang you anyway. We plead our bellies. That was their last words to the judge. He said, which basically meant that they were claiming to be pregnant, both of them. He didn't care about that either. We're going to hang you later, because you can't hang a pregnant woman. Send him back to jail. Dad is still here in Charleston. He bails out Ann Bonney, brings her back. What we know from there is that she remarried again, guy number 4, because yes, we're counting Mary Read, had 4 kids and died at the age of 84. So when you gave me 81, that was the first number rolling through my head. Now, what happens to Mary Read? She's a pirate in Jamaican jail. She died from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail about a year later, which would have been the year 1721. Their trial, the date significance, is November 28th, 1720. So, this is a place where you can do whatever you want. We're going to stay out of the way of other tours. Obviously, I'm the noisy one. I'm the outcast. So, cameras, if you guys want to go in front, we definitely want to get some kind of footage up there. If you want to go up there, Elaine, KJ, feel free. But that front of the building, you're going to go exit the lot and make a left. And put your cameras right inside the wrought iron gate. Just don't get in the way of another tour. That's kind of the only rule. This is also an apartment building back here, so we don't want to go screaming loud with spirit boxes. You can have them loud so you can hear them, just don't go screaming loud. We don't want to echo through. Not to mention interrupting other tours. It's never a fun phone call that I have the next day. So I won't say that I haven't had them. Let's have some fun in here. For some odd reason, I think spot 48 is taken by that vehicle, but spot 48, for some odd reason, we get a lot of activity out of it. EMF meters. This is a dead zone. If you get anything, I'm going to be excited. So definitely turn up your REM pod to see if you get the attention that way. There's a ledge over there next to that wall if you want to kind of do your theory like we did earlier. But again, have some fun in here. let me know what you guys are asking. I'm going to bounce around with all of you like I did in the last big investigation.
So you want to change better?
Yes. Why put my bag on? How are you doing on not hitting that square? Do you have it on video?
I don't know because I think we might have to, but I tried to immediately turn it on because something happened where it like cut it half off, and then came back, and then I found it stopped recording. So I think we have two.
Okay, not a big deal. Like I said, I just like to know so I know what I'm working with in the morning. This is the place where I told you my camera likes to glitch.
Okay.
So just to give you an example, the red spirit box, the one that Jackson has. So I had a smaller group, so I'm standing next to the person with the red spirit box. A white film comes over that person. Their spirit box stopped working. I was like, what's going on? I couldn't figure it out. We walked away 5-10 feet. This was actually up in that corner over there. 5-10 feet. It automatically started recording again. It was already on. It takes 3 button presses to turn that thing back to record. So it was kind of a weird instance. So again, it's happened here twice.
Okay.
So just kind of keep, it's a weird, it almost looks like, do you know what old static looks like?
Yeah.
Okay, so it kind of looked like an old static going through, and then it just stopped. Like it just kind of gave a little film over that person, stops working, comes back on 5 minutes later.
Gotcha.
Craziness. What we got going on?
No, it just 1.6, 1.7, and like 2.6. It's just
Up there, it's because of all the wiring.
That's what I thought. I wondered if it was this, and I wonder if I may be picking something up.
Well,
Why is this a dead zone? Right. Nothing. I mean, because it was flat, nothing.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, it's definitely not
yeah.
I think the mansion site is kind of maybe better than like the last one. There's nothing electrical there at all. Like, nothing should be making that go out.
Yeah, it wasn't constant. Pretty much there.
Thought about having rebuilding the mansion based on the pictures and descriptions that we have, but we would have to do our thing first. Stay along.
You hearing anything? Just so you know, I'm putting my finger out to get some color, like you said. Okay, I don't think I see anything here. Okay.
It's a question.
What was your first husband's name?
What's your first husband's name?
Distant little finger.
I'm sure it's got Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant? Do you want to swap the gadgets for a second?
No.
Why not?
I got Mount Pleasant.
That's the town north of here.
Yeah. And then I tried to ask a couple questions, but I couldn't really think of good ones.
Two things I did not give you: the name of Calico Jack's ship. And I
Okay.
did not give you Anne Bonny's mother's name.
Okay.
So
I think I did ask. Maybe I did ask. I don't really know. Maybe that was another place. I
everybody
don't know.
likes to go after Jack's ship, though.
Okay.
It's an interesting one. We'll see if it pops up.
If you can hear this, Bonnie, please make yourself known somehow. Maybe show yourself to me, please. Don't get much activity. Maybe in front of the gate. Parking lot gate, maybe beside the light pole. Anywhere, if you can please hear this. Make yourself known.
I'm gonna bring him back over here. Landon, Mom and Dad go around to the front.
I think so. Wait, L-E-A-H? Did you say L-E-A-H? That's Leah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Lee.
Well, I did, but
Hey, Sydney, we're gonna wrap it up. Alright, so two questions that I told you guys that I did not give you was the name of Calico Jack's ship and the name of Anne Bonny's mother. Anne Bonny's mother was Mary Brennan, ironically the same name as Mary Reed. So, Calico Jack's ship was the Kingston. So I don't expect Kingston to come up, but I do expect something like royalty, king. You know, anything related to being a king or king's son or something related. I've only had it one time in 6 months, so I get excited when I see it again. From here, because I don't see us getting much at this location, I think the Pinckney Mansion site was probably our most active site tonight. I would say, based on the entire length of the tour, the Pinckney Mansion kind of made it. That would be the Whistling Doctor. But I think the Pinckney Mansion kind of made up for the rest of the other places. So I'm excited about a lot that went on there, plus the name John that I'll be listening on the Spirit Box recordings to see if anything else matches to that. As I collect the devices, feel free to ask me a million questions if you'd like. And you guys were really great with your questions, asking me things personally. What are you looking for truly? How do I experiment with this device? You know, those kind of things. You guys were really inquisitive, and those Spirit Boxes are not easy to listen to. When you get your recording back, I listen to them with earphones. Do what you will. That's how I get most of the activity out of it, especially disembodied voices, which is non-radio chatter. It's not going to be a DJ or a song lyric. So if I capture a disembodied voice, trust me, you will know. It'll be a separate audio by itself because I cut it out. That's great stuff. And I give it to you separately. And I tell you exactly where we heard it at. That about covers it. At the top of your data page, I'll take your device. I'm just going to go around the horn. At the top of your data page, you'll see all of the devices and apps that I use and trust regularly. So there's a list there. There are free versions of all the apps. I'm not like an affiliate trying to make an extra buck or whatever. So I'll take your phone, and then I'll take your phone lane, so go ahead and stop it for me.